How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Twigger here with another High ELO Commentary game featuring TheRainMan, the one and only, playing Renekton in the top lane. And as a lot of you guys know, which is kind of funny here, is that TheRainMan is going to be playing Renekton, but he is known for his Teemo play back when he was on Team Solo Mid as that top laner. And he just happens to be going up against a Teemo in the top lane while he's playing Renekton. So maybe we'll see if his knowledge of Teemo will come into play here, and maybe he'll be able to do well. I think Teemo does fairly well against Renekton, even though he is more kind of a caster bruiser, I would say. But it'll definitely be interesting to see what somebody like TheRainMan can do up against one of his favorite champions, that Teemo, and it is the astronaut Teemo. So I think Teemo wins that skin to win battle. I don't think Renekton's is nearly as good. But haven't done a RainMan game in a while, so kind of excited to see what he's doing. Glad to see that he is still playing League of Legends at that high ELO. He is Diamond 1, I believe, right now. So certainly a very, very good player. He is no longer on TSM. As we all know, he got replaced with the one and only Dyrus, who has pretty much skyrocketed in fame since he joined TSM. Just a great overall player, but also just a very funny and well-rounded guy. They did get knocked out of Worlds recently, last week, so that's always unfortunate to see. Dyrus actually did let a lot of First Bloods go, but they played pretty well, and it looks like we're now in this game going to be getting the first gank going. Zyra's going to stay in to try to take down this Sona, but I don't think she's going to have enough. But the plants, are they going to do enough? She has to flash to avoid that passive from Zyra, but Sona is going to get away from that one, and Zyra's going to get first blooded. The first blood going to that Tristana. Definitely not the position you want to be if you're that red team, because Tristana does not have the best early to mid game, but the late game on Tristana is terrifying. So if you give her any leeway in that early game for her to be a mid game force as well, good luck to that red team Graves. They are tied in CS in the bot lane, but TheRainMan kind of getting dominated a little bit up in the top lane, 20 CS to 8. Definitely going to have to keep our eye on that lane and see if any kind of big trades happen or if there's any real kill potential. He did opt to go for the Doran shield first, which definitely helps against somebody like Teemo, who is quite auto attack heavy, but it's going to help also with the health regen and things, but you know, maybe not exactly what he needed, because he's so far behind right now. Maybe he needed a little bit more sustain. Getting a little bit of a counter evade here from the Nasus, but nothing really going to come from that one. Jarvan was a little too low to kind of engage that one with the Ezreal, and this is something we're now seeing a little bit more nowadays, is this mid lane Ezreal. I believe it was Dade on SSO made it kind of popular in the Worlds. He was played every now and again because he is definitely, I would say, one of the most caster-esque mid ADCs. And so I could see why he would be good in the mid lane, especially with his Arcane Shift, being able to get over those Wraith walls and the River walls. But I haven't really seen a mid lane Ezreal really dominate quite yet. So maybe this will be the time. Maybe this Ezreal will show us all how it's done. We are only 5.5 minutes into this game, so there's still a lot more action to be had. But one thing that we don't get to see very often, especially during Worlds, is that mid lane Zed. Zed being played a ton in the mid lane as of recently, and he's becoming either a guaranteed ban or a guaranteed pick. But looks like there is a gank up in the top lane, sorry, in the mid lane from the Jarvan. I don't know why we're not currently watching that, but Zed just going to use his shadow, get away from that one, no real problem at all. So one great thing about Zed is that he is so mobile as a champion, and he also does so much damage, so very, very hard to gank him, but you kind of have to gank him or else he's going to destroy your mid laner. As we see TheRainMan going into his own jungle to clear out those wolves. He's trying to find any method that he can to keep up in CS against this Teemo, because during the early phases having that, the Ignite is not going to go down from the Zed. He's going to have to try to run away from this one. Jarvan coming through. The ultimate being burned by Ezreal. I don't think that Zed is going to make it out of this one. The Dragon Talon Strike should be up in 2 seconds. 1, and is he going to get it? There's the Ignite from TheRainMan. Just popping in to get his piece there. He just kind of poked his head in. Boom. It's Sona being jumped on very hard here. Graves going to pick up that kill. 300 gold going to him. The flash having to be burned as well. And it looks like he's going to escape from that one very cleanly. So a kill going both ways on the blue team and the red team. Glad to see that the TheRainMan did get a little piece of that one. And Tristana now jumping in, going very aggressive on this bot lane. And it's going to be enough to kill the Graves as well. So he does get a kill from that one, but the Zyra picking up that kill on the Tristana with the assist going to Graves. So still more worth it, I would say, for the blue team because they got that assist, but the kill went on to Zyra, and they really wanted that to go onto the Graves, while Tristana is now sitting at 2-1-0. Both ADCs have kind of opted for the same item build, that Vampiric Scepter and the Doran's Blade. Tristana getting her boots already, so going to have that slight advantage over Graves next time it comes into lane. And it looks like Renekton is now doing a little bit better against this Teemo. Has that Doran's Blade to do a little bit of damage, and as long as he avoids those mushrooms and knows where Teemo has been putting them, he should do fairly decently, I would think. But now, this is not a matchup that you see very frequently at all because Teemo is pretty much never played. But here comes the TheRainMan. The speeded boost is going to be ready for Teemo. He's just going to prance on out of that one. Kind of a skip, I guess. A moon jump is what he's doing. But getting away from that one. 54 CS to 46 CS in favor of Teemo. The gold is only 500 apart for these two teams. 10.8 to 10.4 in favor of the blue team. That's really just because of that one extra kill that they had down in the bot lane. No, it's actually the mid, I guess. But once again, the TheRainMan trying to get in there, but Teemo just having that little bit of a speed boost can get out of that one pretty much unscathed. But the lucky thing is that he is able to now put some pressure onto Teemo, which is getting the his CS back up, which is what he's really looking for. Ezreal looks like he's kind of going for a bit of a blue build here, getting the Tear of the Goddess stacked up very, very early. And he has two longswords. I don't know if he's going to be going for that Spirit of the Lizard Elder. It did get nerfed quite heavily, so it wasn't great on Ezreal anymore. But he could try to build that into maybe a Brutalizer or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. We're going to have to wait and see what he builds that one into. But we're now hitting a crucial stage in the bot lane where the red team has hit level 6. Sona is just a little bit further behind, so could be a very big engagement going on in that bot lane in this foreseeable future. I'm just going to do a quick little rundown here. Oh, actually, Nasus is taking this dragon. He has popped his ultimate. It's going to be a bit of a smite duel here. Nasus does get the dragon. But there's the Cataclysm coming out, and Tristana is now going to jump in on this Nasus. He does not have his ultimate available after that fight. Big AoE damage coming out of the Graves and Zyra ultimates, and Ezreal jumped over here to try to do some damage to the exhaust. Was used onto Graves. He is going to be taken out by the last auto attack from Sona picking that one up, and Sona's going to try to get out to this wall to flash over. She will make it out, and it doesn't look like anybody's going to be chasing over that one. So, very good trade for that red team. 3 for 1. Nasus survived that one and got the dragon. So, all of a sudden, we have a nice shift in gold, and now we're at 14.6 to 13.3. Over 1,000 gold in the lead for that red team now, when it was 500 in the lead for the blue team just before that. So, Teemo once again putting down those shrooms, trying to do as much damage as he can, try to avoid that all-in by Renekton. But Renekton just going to continue to get his last hits in, heal up with that Q, and Teemo's going to have to last hit under turret a little bit here. It doesn't look like we've actually had a lot of pressure on the top lane turrets. Hasn't really been a very turret-pressured game so far. I wonder if that's going to change soon. Maybe with Teemo or Renekton get a kill here. There's Renekton finally getting in onto that Teemo. A lot of damage going down. He does get hit by one of his shrooms, so doing quite a bit of damage and slowing him down, so it's going to kind of stop that pursuit. But you can see that when Renekton does get in there, a little bit of a juke there, going for the Zed, using those shadows to his advantage. And Zed's ultimate is going to be up in about 5 seconds. I wonder if he's going to try to engage this one. Good part about being in Ezreal is that when that ultimate gets popped on him, he's just going to arcane shift away and pretty much avoid all the damage that was going to come out of the Zed. But once again, the TheRainMan going in again, popping his ultimate. The flash having to be used by Teemo, but Nasus is coming up for a gank as well. The crescendo landing right onto that Zyra just at the very end. It was just the tip, baby. Don't worry about it. And Graves is now being taken down from this Tristana. Is he going to have enough to take her down? The barriers both being used, and Mother Stewart is going to be picking that one up. Sona getting that kill. Not the person you want to get the kill, but hey, it's a kill nonetheless. Graves just barely going down to that one. I thought he was going to be able to take down the Tristana, But that was not the case. It was just a great gank from the Jarvan. And now we're going to have a little bit of turret pressure on this bot lane, which is going to put the blue team back in the gold lead. If they manage to take this turret, I can't actually see its health. They are going to take this turret. So there we go. Turret going down, and now we're pretty much back to the 500 gold lead that we had previously. But Renekton did manage to survive that gank from the Nasus in the top lane. Renekton with his slice and dice is actually a very mobile champion, including that stun that he has. So it is tricky to catch him, which is probably why he escaped that gank, even though he was quite pushed forward. The ultimate is available for Zed. He's trying to get as much damage off as he can onto the Ezreal. The ultimate is going to be dodged by Zed, and Ezreal is going to go back. The Pulse Fire Ezreal going back to pick up some items. He did turn those 2 longswords into a brutalizer. So he's trying to get that kind of early damage, because the thing about the blue Ezreal is that when you rush that Tear of the Goddess, yes, it's great for the late game when you stack that thing up early to get your mirror mana, but you kind of lose that mid-game dominance or any type of real mid-game damage pressure. But building that quick brutalizer means that he is still going to be stacking up that item, but also going to have quite a bit of mid-game damage just with that armor pen and the damage coming out of it. And he already has another 2 longswords, so I don't really know what he's going to build those 2 longswords into. Maybe he'll build another brutalizer. I doubt it. But it is still quite a close game. Just 200 gold is separating these teams. The first turret going down for the blue team in the bot lane, and everybody just kind of content farming up. Zara going pretty deep here. It does see that the Tristana is there, and here goes the Zed, trying to do as much damage with his ultimate as he can, but he's going to have to flash over that wall. Didn't get enough damage and didn't realize that 4 members of the blue team were there. So a burned flash, and now it looks like Sona might be in a little bit of trouble. The grasping roots are going to land. A lot of damage going down. The crescendo being used, hitting both of them. The ignite going down, and Zed using his shadow to try to get in. There's going to be a kill. It's going to the Zyra, and oh, the Graves! Is it going to be enough damage? It's not. He has his flash ability. I can't believe he hasn't used his flash yet. He has not used his flash. He's not planning on using his flash. He didn't use his flash. Why didn't he flash? I guess he was worried maybe that it looks like he burned the Jarvan's flash, kind of threatening that one. But once again, Graves going in. The grasping roots does land, but I don't think Graves is going to have enough damage here. Maybe if he had his ultimate. But the flash was used now by Graves. I don't know what the hell happened. So the flash then used by Graves. Who the hell knows? But the purple team managed to get 2 turrets out of that one. A very nice push. Graves got Tristana and Jarvan very, very low. And then coming back in to get the Ezreal very, very low. They really could not contest that one at all. And the TheRainMan, once again, is just up in the top lane farming. Having a time. Having a dandy of a time. Just fighting this Teemo. I'll watch this for a little bit. See how the lane is going. It's really just a farm fest up here. 113 CS to 110. It's very, very close. There's been little to no pressure on these turrets. As we can see, barely any damage taken, and down on the second one, pretty much the exact same. So it really has just been a farm fest. The junglers have kind of left the top lane to their own devices. And there's some damage coming out onto Teemo. The Tiamats has been completed for the TheRainMan. And there's going to be a bit of a counter attack coming out of Teemo. And here is the Zyra and the Nasus wanting to make this play happen, but here comes Jarvan, and look at the damage going down onto Teemo. This is going to be enough to pick him up. The Zyra ultimate coming down, knocking only the Jarvan up. Cataclysm being used onto the Zyra, but she's going to flash out of that one. The Nasus ultimate being popped. The 2 brothers really going in on this one. Nasus is not going to be taken down quite yet because of a great grasping roots from the Zyra, saving his life, and the TheRainMan still very, very healthy. And then, of course, hits a shroom and loses a bit of his health. But Sona hitting a shroom as well. It's kind of clearing that top lane, and this is the first real pressure that we've had in the top lane. So very good to see that Jarvan gets a great gank, 2v3, and they managed to take down that Teemo and nearly take down the Nasus as well. So I'm glad we started watching the TheRainMan during that one. I'm going to go back to directed cam and see if anything fun and exciting is going on in the rest of the map. Ezreal going into the mid lane with the Tristana, probably going to try to push down that mid lane turret, and Graves is down in the bot lane, pretty much just being left to his own devices. He's probably going to take down that bot lane turret, but there's already been quite a bit of damage done on the rest of the map. The top lane turret being taken down, and the mid lane turret is probably going to go down. There it is. So 3 turrets to 2 turrets, 3 turrets. And there's another turret going down for the blue team, sorry, the red team. So 3-3 in the turret count. It's still about 1,000 gold, just under 1,000 gold lead for the red team. And the TheRainMan did finish his Ravenous Hydra because they're going to be doing a lot of damage. I wouldn't be surprised to see him build a little bit more tanky after the... since he just purchased the Ravenous Hydra. I don't think he needs a ton more damage than he already has. But the Ezreal ultimate coming in to try to steal that dragon, but it's going to be just a tad too late. And as we see, Ezreal did opt to go for the Spirit of the Lizard Elder, so still wanting to go for that item, even though it was a bit nerfed. Not the best item for Ezreal anymore, but, you know, it's still decently effective. To each their own, right? It's a fairly inexpensive item, and it can kind of keep you in that mid-game if you're not exactly dominating your lane, or if you're not necessarily going to beat your counterpart. But he is facing a Zed that already has finished his Blade of the Ruined King, and it looks like he might be going for a Brutalizer as well, so definitely not the easiest opponent to be going up against. So maybe he just wanted that, kind of like buying an additional Doran's Ring. It's just kind of getting that damage and sustainability right now rather than waiting to build a bigger item. I'm not entirely sure what he's going to be going for next, but Renekton did go back, has his boots and a longsword here, really opting for the more damage Renekton build and kind of relying on his ultimate for all the tankiness that he's really going to need. And Teemo having a Catalyst and a Seeker's Arm Guard. Kind of an interesting build to me, I would say, because I think the Catalyst is probably going to be going towards that Rod of the Ages, I would think. I don't really think he would really build the Catalyst into anything else. Like, yeah, I don't know. And the Seeker's Arm Guard, so he's not going to really be doing a ton of damage, really just relying on the Doran's Rings and the Magic Pen that he has from his Sorcerer's Shoes. But he's going to be building into a Zhonya's Hourglass, which sure is going to be okay, but it's going to be quite a while until he really starts doing some damage. Especially to somebody like a Renekton who pretty much went all damage. I think he will probably win those trades when they come. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of a fight here. The Zed ultimate coming out onto the Ezreal, but he's just going to Arcane Shift away, and now Zed being taken down completely by that combo of ults. And the Graves going down to the Tristana, some great amount of damage coming out here. Zyra going to be knocked up by the Jarvan EQ combo. Ezreal picking up that kill. A great, great fight for this blue team. And as all this is going on, Renekton is just chilling up in that top lane. The TheRainMan just having a good old time saying, you know what, guys, I think you can handle it. And he's just going to do his own thing. But now they're going to call him in to take down this Baron. The blue team has pink warded that, so there's currently no vision for the purple team. And it doesn't look like there's going to be anytime soon. So Nasus is coming in. He does not have his flash available, and I don't think they're going to be able to get into this one on time. The blue team is going to smite that one away. So the Baron going to the TheRainMan and the rest of the blue team. They are... looks like these guys are still just kind of chilling on the other side, seeing if it was done. They do now know that the Baron was completed, because Ezreal is in that mid lane. So it looks like this has been a very, very back and forth game with kind of a 1,000, 1.5k gold lead going between the teams. So Renekton going to pick up his Mercury Treads, going to help with a little bit of magic damage coming out of Teemo, but I wonder what he's kind of saving up for. How much money does he have? So 1,500, going to be that 1,600. I think he's going to go B right after that, probably sell his pot and get a needlessly large rod, or he's going to finish up that Rod of the Ages. That's kind of what I'm expecting. Now, whether or not that actually is the case, looks like the TheRainMan is just going to keep him in lane for as long as he can. You're going to walk back, you little damn Yordle. And it's so easy now with the Ravenous Hydra for Renekton to just clear that lane. But it looks like he might be biting off a little bit more than he can chew here. Zed is coming in as well. His ultimate is available. So the flash coming out of the Renekton. But I think this might be a very, very dead TheRainMan. His ultimate is not even available. And that's going to be a kill for the Teemo. So the TheRainMan playing a little bit too aggro on that one. Really wanted to keep Teemo in the lane as long as possible, which is a very valiant goal, but not when you have a Zed coming right in for you. He doesn't really have the ward coverage to be doing things like that. But here comes the rest of the purple team. Looks like they want to have an engagement here. The Zyra ultimate coming out, going to knock up two members of that team. The Ezreal ultimate and the Jarvan ultimate coming out, locking down two members of the purple team. The Crescendo hitting two players as well. Currently, it's only the Jarvan who has gone down. Tristana is still at full HP, so you got to be worried about that. The Nasus ultimate is now done. Tristana is still at full HP, and pretty much Ezreal at full HP as well after the Sona heals have come out. I don't think it's going to amount to anything, though, in that mid. Still some damage being traded, and Tristana, since she was at full HP, is just going to be able to poke at this turret. The turret is nearly dead, and it looks like people are going to try to push out of the base. Teemo trying to bait Tristana in there. And the issue about being this low, is the damage going to be enough? It is going to be enough from that red buff to take down the Zyra. That was a great little auto attack there. And it looks like they might be able to pick off the Teemo. Nope, the flash did come out of the Tristana to try to pick off that Teemo, but he is just too damn quick. But still, the Teemo is very, very low, so he's not going to come into this one. The Nasus is healing, so they're going to get a couple more pot shots onto this turret as well. The Buster Shot, a great Buster Shot coming out of Tristana, but it's not going to be enough to save him. Graves is going to take down that one, but Graves is probably going to lose his life for that one. Or is he? Is Ezreal going to be able to get another? No, he is not. Graves is going to survive that one just barely, and Teemo is going to be on a killing spree now, picking off that Sona. Jarvan is now coming in to try to help his team out, and while all this is going on, where the hell do you think the TheRainMan is? He is up in the top lane pushing. Like, this guy just, like, does not believe in helping his team. Like, he's doing well, don't get me wrong. He's been up pushing that entire time and, like, really making sure that he's getting a lot of CS and that he's kind of split pushing and keeping that pressure on the red team. But man, he just never wants to join his team unless it's going to be beneficial to him. Like, oh, Baron, now you need me? But it's like dragons, team fights, turrets. The TheRainMan just kind of says, like, piss off. I'm just going to chill up here. So he is doing well, 10 CS above the Teemo, but Teemo did get his home guard boots and his Rod of the Ages, so expect in the next 5 minutes for him to probably have that stacked up. And Renekton is going to go in on here. As you can see, a lot of damage, and that mushroom actually missing. And so now Renekton is just going to kind of, they're both going to proxy each other here. The TheRainMan does have a little bit of lifesteal though, so I think he's going to be in a little bit better shape than this Teemo. And the shroom was popped, so Teemo going through the turret to try to get around this one. Not exactly sure how he's going to escape this because Renekton, Sona, and Ezreal are all in there. I don't believe that they've seen him. Nope, he is currently just down there in the bot lane. He has gone invisible, and I think he has escaped. Like, no one is really looking for him anymore. I think they already assumed that he got away when Renekton checked that Tribe Rush in the top lane. So good escape on the Teemo's part because I was pretty damn sure that Renekton was going to kill him. But as we can see in the gold again, we're only about 500 gold apart. So such a close game. I'm very glad that I'm casting this one because it has just been so back and forth. And how can you not cast a high ELO game that has a Teemo in it? I would love it if the TheRainMan were playing Teemo, because I remember that last game I cast of him playing Teemo was great. But the fact that he's playing against the Teemo, I'm having just as much fun casting that. So once again, we have kind of a little bit of a team brawl in the mid lane, and where is the TheRainMan? He's up in the top lane, just having a damn time. So he got a brutalizer. He is really going for this kind of glass cannon Renekton of just doing so much damage and relying on his ultimate for that tankiness with the Merc Treads to take a little bit of that damage off. But he does still have that Doran shield, so those auto attacks not hitting for as much as they would have. But I think he's going to have to start joining his team pretty soon. Now that's just me, but give a quick little update here on the creep scores. 226 to 197 for Renekton. Junglers are 1 CS apart. 178 to 184, very close in that mid lane. 164 to 181, fairly close for those ADCs. And exactly even for the support, so they know just how many CS to take. But interesting kind of build from both supports. Very different builds where Sona's opting for those GP10s while Zyra's opting for the Crucible to really help his carries. And it looks like we have that engage coming out now. Tristana having to rocket jump away. The Ezreal ultimate coming in, hitting Zed, which was very important. But it doesn't look like the Nasus ultimate is really keeping him alive as long as he wants to. He's going to have to get away from that one. The Graves ultimate coming out, but not enough to kill the Sona. And it doesn't look like we really have an engage up in that top lane. But Renekton and Teemo still going at it. the good thing about this for the blue team is that they do have quite a bit of lifesteal, and with the Sona sustain, they're going to be able to just stay here and continue to push this turret. But here we go. There's the engagement we were looking for. The RainMan and Teemo going at it face to face. The Teemo Shroom does go off. That's going to be a kill for the RainMan. I don't know if he's going to have enough through the Shroom. It's not. The RainMan is going to survive, so he wins that one-on-one duel against Teemo. Very nice play on his part. The ultimate from Ezreal dodged by the Zed. I don't think it's going to be enough, though. He is going to die, and the Nasus is going to pick up this Ezreal. The battle between Graves and Tristan is happening now. They both kill each other. Nasus is now fighting the Jarvan. This has been a pretty chaotic battle in this bot lane, and I think that since the Jarvan is pretty much out of mana, the Nasus is going to have enough to take down this Jarvan. He's just going to continue chasing. The RainMan flashing in onto the Zyra. If she gets a grasping roots, which she is not going to, he is still alive. And he's going to escape! Renekton, the RainMan, barely getting out of that one. And Jarvan managing to survive that as well. I think he just got enough mana to do his EQ combo and get a little bit of distance between him and the Nasus. So some pretty epic plays coming out of the RainMan and that Jarvan to escape those ones and get that kill onto the Zyra and manage to survive that one even through that ignite. So we're seeing the RainMan finally kick it up a little bit, 247 to 214, and he picks up a Guardian Angel. Wow. So he's just like, I guess he's deciding to go kind of glass cannon, but you're going to have to kill him twice. And with his bit of life sustain, the amount of damage that he's doing, he's really going to have an impact on these fights, because his ultimate is making him quite tanky. And we're seeing how much like armor pen they have on this blue team, with Ezreal, Jarvan, and Renekton all opting for those brutalizers that they got quite early in the game. But Tristana currently the only one without armor pen. I think that's probably going to be her next item. I doubt that she would finish up that like a Bloodthirster right now. Probably going to go for that last Whisper fairly soon. Get that trifecta. But it looks like Nasus is going to be taking a lot of damage, getting knocked up. The ultimate going to come out to try to keep himself alive for as long as he can. The Zyra ultimate trying to lock people down, but certainly just a little bit too late. Nasus getting caught out there from the Jarvan knockup. And Tristana just doing a lot of damage with that Infinity Edge. As we can see, the RainMan is still in that top lane, just deciding that he does not want to leave. Sona coming in to heal everybody up, and they're going to just kind of chisel down this turret, kind of one wave at a time. But now we're seeing the pings for the Baron, and once again, the only reason that the RainMan will leave that top lane, Baron. Like, oh, we're doing Baron, guys? No problem. I'll be down in just a sec. So the red team's jungler Nasus is down. The ultimate being popped by Renekton just to make this go down as quickly as humanly possible, because they do know that the enemy team is coming for this one. And the blue team is going to get that. Jarvan smite was enough, and it looks like the RainMan is going to just slice and dice over here. His ultimate is still going, but the Teemo is just going to flash over that wall, get a hell out of that one. But great little pickup from this blue team, kind of solidifying a nice gold lead, 4K ahead right now. Feeling pretty good to be them. 3-1-1 for the RainMan's Renekton. Second Baron buff of the game. Doing quite well over his lane counterpart Teemo, 234 CS to 320. And Teemo not having a bad game. I must say, I've seen a lot worse Teemo games than this, where he actually he did fairly well in lane against the RainMan, but the RainMan has just been so relentless about staying in that top lane that he's been able to push so hard. And he's managed to get the 2 turrets down before Teemo was even really, I think, touched. Oh no, you know what? He's done quite a bit of damage. I take that back. I thought it was still kind of at that same level that we checked it as before. But Nasus is getting himself in a little bit of trouble again, getting slowed down by that Sona. And Ezreal now doing quite a bit of damage with that Sheen finally. I think he's probably going to be built. I don't think he would go all blue build and go for those Iceborne Gauntlets again. I think he's probably going to go for the Trinity Force now with the changes to Triforce. Doing quite a bit more damage. So I don't know what he's going to go for, but that ward was not dying. What was that? Hold on, I really want to see that. What the hell happened there? They just kept hitting the ward. They can't kill the ward. The ward will live on. That's an impressive ward. I've got to give it that. It will not die. I'm kind of curious to see them go for it again and see if it'll actually go down. Looks like the red team is going to try to pick up their own red buff. Graves finding this Sona, but I don't think he's going to really go for this one, reducing his damage a little bit. And Ezreal caught in a bit of a bad situation here. Ultimate being popped. The Arcane Shift was already used, but a great crescendo landing on 4 members of that red team, pretty much stopping the assault. But looks like they're not stopping the assault at all, actually. They're going to continue going on, but it at least allowed Ezreal to live. The Buster Shot coming out of Tristana going to separate everybody a bit. Jarvan is here as well as Renekton, so this is going to be a pretty big team fight here. The Zyra going down, but she did manage to get her ultimate off. The Ezreal ultimate is not really going to hit anybody. Alki, the Tristana, going down from this Nasus. And Ezreal and Sona are now both on the run from this Nasus and this Zed. Zed taking a ton of damage. The EQ combo going to land, and MLG Perseus is going to take down the Zed. And it looks like the fail flash out of the Nasus is going to seal his fate. And it's just the Teemo and the Graves getting out of that one. Graves just kind of by the skin of his teeth there. And he's going to stay and farm the bot lane minions. What are you doing? Why didn't Jarvan go in there? Well, I am mightily confused. He just kind of walked away from that one. I could have sworn that they were going to try to go for that kill, but I guess they chose not to. The TheRainMan once again going in on this Teemo under the turret, try to do as much damage as he can. And we're sitting now with a pretty big gold lead here, about 7k for this blue team. Looks like they're finally starting to solidify a lead for their team, and probably going to try to push in for an inhibitor at some point. That was the very last outer turret that they needed. So now it's just those inhibitor turrets and the inhibitors. Teemo coming in, finding this Renekton. Going to try to steal away, is going to steal away that big golem. Not a huge deal, but, you know, just a kind of a little slap in the face to the Renekton. A slap in the face. But, yeah, we're looking at, once again, the TheRainMan in the top lane. It was quite surprising to see him down in that river for the team fight. Didn't really expect to see that one, but we're sitting at 19 kills to 14 kills. 2 Baron buffs have gone over to this blue team. 6 turrets to 3 turrets. It has just really been going in their favor. And now the TheRainMan is once again fighting this Teemo. He's popping his ultimate. The Ignite is going down, and the TheRainMan is now opting just to try to run away from this one. The Nasus is quite strong, so he doesn't want to push his luck here, but while all this is going on, Tristana and the rest of the team have just been pushing down this mid lane because it's been 2 up top trying to deal with the TheRainMan. Are they going to get this inhibitor? Are they going to push for it? I think they are. Teemo Shroom hitting onto Tristana and Sona. And there is, oh, the blind, it's not down yet. Zed is going to be taken down by a great Ezreal ultimate. It looks like Jarvan might go down, and he hasn't yet. Tristana is going to be falling down, and a decent crescendo coming out, but the Iceborne Gauntlet's going to keep Nasus in bounds here. Same with the Graves, it looks like. The Arcane Shift and the Mystic Shot miss, but there we go. There's going to be a solid kill onto the Graves. They do get the inhibitor down, and Teemo now coming in to try his luck against the Sona and the Renekton. There's the Grasping Roots. Great flash over the wall, and there's going to be a kill for Dreamo on Teemo. And wow, pretty intense fight that we had going on there. 3 kills to 3. Actually, I think Zara died at the beginning. Did she die at the beginning? I don't know if she died at the beginning. I don't think so because it was 19 to something beforehand. So I think it was 3 for 3. Very well played, kind of by both teams. I was very surprised to see how long that inhibitor lasted. But the blue team did manage to finally pick that one up. So they're going to have a little bit of a window here of safety, and it's perfect because it's going to be probably the Baron buff in, oh, look at those lovely timers that Riot has put in. In a minute 30, we're going to have that Baron active again, so it's going to be a good time for this blue team because the super minions will be pushing into the base, and they can use that opportunity to take that 3rd coveted Baron. Looking down the items, so this is a very standard blue Ezreal build. Well, not really overly standard with that Brutalizer and now the Giant's Belt, but with the Spirit of the Lizard Elder, the Mirror Mane, the Iceborne Gauntlets, and the cooldown boots. I know that somebody wanted me to try to find a high ELO blue Ezreal, so this is definitely one of them. He's having a fairly good game here. Tristana jumping over the wall to try to take down this Graves. A lot of damage going down on the Tristana, but it is not going to be enough. It is Tristana who picks up that blue buff, I believe. There you go, yep. And he's just going to lifesteal off of these minions and be pretty darn healthy for the next fight. Baron up in 30 seconds. So Ezreal, by the way, so 5, 3, and 8 with 256 CS, doing very, very well. So whoever was asking me for a blue Ezreal game, here he is. He's doing quite well. I don't know him as a player, but You can look him up on your spare time if you want, because he is still playing the more traditional blue Ezreal build, while after the Trinity Force changes, people are now kind of opting for the Triforce build rather than the Iceborne and Gauntlets build. And most blue Ezreals don't really build the Spirit of the Lizard Elder anymore. But once again, we have the TheRainMan fighting Teemo, but now it looks like Teemo is getting a bit of the upper hand here. He does have that... oh, I'm actually going to forget the name of it. I'm going to forget... Lysandre? No. Yeah, Liandry's. There we go. It was like Lysandre, Liandry's. There we go. Liandry's Torment, which is doing that percentage health and burn damage, which against a tanky person like Renekton is going to end up being quite a bit of damage. So Teemo doing fairly well. Also has that Sheen. Probably going to turn that into a Lich Bane as soon as he can. But look at that. Like a quarter of the HP out of Ezreal coming out of one blinding dart. Scary, scary stuff. So super scary. And Teemo going to come in for this. No, he is not going to come in for that one, actually. I thought he was going to go balls deep onto this Ezreal. And it looks like we kind of have a split up here. It looks like Nasus is going to want to get in for a fight here. Where the ultimate's going to come out. Zyra using her Shurelius to try to get in on this one. The crescendo is going to come out and hit Nasus and Zyra. Very decent crescendo. But the Graves doing so much damage with that static shiv. Kills the Sona. Ezreal was taken down in the top lane by the Teemo. And it looks like Tristana trying to lifesteal herself back up is not going to have enough. Renekton is now down here, going to try to take down this Graves, but he is doing a fairly good job at kiting, tries to flash the other way, but the TheRainMan is going to pick that one up. And it looks like we still have Jarvan in here dueling with Nasus and Zyra. But now here comes the TheRainMan, the slice and dice is going to come out, but here comes Teemo, the reinforcements. The cavalry has arrived, and I don't think that Jarvan is going to be able to escape from this one. Teemo is quite fast. And there's his speed boost, and he is going to juke! The jukes! But he's got no mana. So yeah, that's going to be a pretty easy shutdown. And the team is just signaling for the TheRainMan to get the hell out of that one. But looks like he's just going to go down to this dragon because currently there's nobody else from the red team. Might as well get his team a little bit of gold. He has not actually had his Guardian's Angel popped. So he is still a very, very big threat. 335 CS. Teemo did catch up. And he's quite scary, but with another dragon under their belt and the Baron now active, it's going to be very curious to see how the next couple minutes of this game goes, because that is now the new objective. So how much gold are we sitting on with everybody here? Is anybody ready for an item? So 1.1k for Renekton. We can see how close it is in gold for those top laners, the two richest people in the game. And it looks like, I don't know what Renekton's actually going to buy. He's probably going to finish off his Blade of the Ruin King, I would think. But it looks like we have the blue team already going for this Baron, and they are just chunking this thing down. They didn't even have a chance to do that one. And that was without a jungler, so no smite. That was a very, very risky play, but when you have a Tristana who has Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer, Last Whisperer, doing a ton of damage, and also with an Ezreal that has that Black Cleaver, you know, you're doing a lot of damage. So they just got themselves a free Baron, completely uncontested, nearing a 10k gold difference between these two teams. So I think they're probably going to allow the TheRainMan to go back, buy whatever he's going to buy. Probably going to be that Blade of the Ruin King, I would think. But, yep, there you go. So picking up the Blade of the Ruin King, and now he's going to head up through the mid lane. He didn't get his home guard, so he's going to be just a little bit to get there. And I think they're going to push through, probably to take down, I believe the inhibitor has respawned, so going to try to take down that inhibitor again, and either push for the win or maybe push for some additional inhibitors. Because the last time I checked, and I will check again, yeah, it's that turret has taken a little bit of heat. So shouldn't really take Tristana all that long to take that turret down. Using her range to pick down this inhibitor as much as she can is level 18, so has that freakishly long Tristana range. And it looks like no, Renekton is not going to join his team. He's going to do what the TheRainMan does and piss off for a couple minutes into another lane and push. So the Zyra plant's coming out, the grasping root's missing, and Sona is just going to be able to heal up her team. and it looks like Teemo taking a little bit of damage, is going to get jumped on by this Jarvan. A great Ezreal ultimate. This is going to be enough. The Cataclysm coming up, with the damage being nullified by the Zhonya's Hourglass, and Jarvan taking a lot of damage now. Teemo does not go down, but the Zed has been taken down from the Ezreal. A lot of teamwork coming down here. The Guardian Angel from the Tristana has been popped, but is going to get out of there. But here comes the Renekton, the ultimate being popped. Nasus being taken down. The inhibitor was, well, now is being taken down. The minions up in the top lane have taken down that turret. This has been a great little fight for the blue team, and Renekton still at full HP. Very scary stuff. It looks like the Iceborne Gauntlet's going to proc off onto the Teemo, and they still have 5 people alive. That was a 3-for-0 exchange. Looks like they're going to try to play it a little bit safe here and take down that inhibitor. I don't think they're going to go for the 3 inhibitors, because I think they're going to have enough just to end it here. Look at the damage coming down, and absolutely blown up by this blue team. The jump resets onto the Tristana. Is it going to be enough to get through the barrier of the Graves? It will be. Double kill for the Tristana, and this is probably going to be the GG here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this game. As you guys can tell, I do now finally have internet in my new apartment, so I've been releasing a lot of new videos as of recently, so be looking for more videos, because I'm going to continue uploading them at the speed that I have been. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. Very glad to post the TheRainMan game, and he really put on a show as a Renekton, really showing that he does know what he's doing up in that top lane, and he can definitely compete with the best. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that video, and I will see you guys next time.